What's going on, guys? I'm going to make this a quick video tonight. I'm going to call it Know Your Role, okay? And I'm going to break down what that means, okay? Because I think this can help a lot of people who might feel like they plateau sometimes. So let's look at it from this perspective, right? A lot of us love jiu-jitsu. We love watching jiu-jitsu. We love training jiu-jitsu, right? There are so many facets to jiu-jitsu, to the art of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. There's so many different games out there. There's so many different styles. What's commonly seen in a lot of these styles is that there's the same characteristics. Usually the small guy plays a certain type of guard. Usually the stronger, heavier guy will play the top game. You know what I'm saying here. There's a certain style you'll see. So what I mean by this is when I say know your role is, like, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu I like to watch. But at the same time, I realize this is not my jiu-jitsu. This is not the kind of jiu-jitsu I can use. But because I love the art so much, I can enjoy watching any kind of jiu-jitsu. For example, with me, right? I love watching a lot of the 10th Planet stuff. It's just because it's very artistic. They're really creative. They do a lot of really just different outside of the box techniques and stuff that's probably been around for a long time, but there's just something different about it. You know, you can watch it, you can see it. But that being said, there's a lot of their system that I don't use. There's a lot of it. It's just not, that's not my system. That's not my body type. Almost doesn't fit that for me. And this is just my opinion. And you can feel free to disagree with me. So, like the lockdown, I can use that all day. The truck position from the 10 Planet system, I use that a lot. The twister, I can use that a lot. There's a lot of really cool, there's a lot of stuff they have that's really great, actually. Right, so let's look at it from another perspective. Let's look at it from belts, right? Because I was thinking about this the other night. I was thinking about this a lot, actually. You got your white belt, who, if you were rolling with him, will tell you, I don't know shit. You know, he's just trying to survive. He doesn't know what an armbar is yet. He's still not even sure how to pass your guard. He's sure not even what to do when you're inside of his guard, right? And I don't want this to go off track because unfortunately a lot of schools can't have beginner classes for white belts. So what happens is you get a white belt who's thrown into, and it is what it is, but they get kind of thrown into the fire with all the belts. And before you know it, 2 months down the road, they're freaking really good at reverse de la Hiva, but they don't know shit about closed guard or a very basic collar choke. And that's just, it's just unfortunate, but that's how a lot of academies have to be ran because a lot of people that own gyms also have to have jobs. It's just the way it is. Unless you're a world champion or you got a shit ton of students and you live in a wealthy area where you can charge a shit ton of money every month. But even then, it's tough. So your white belt, he's just trying to figure shit out. Your blue belt, at this stage, my opinion again, at this stage, the blue belt, he's fucking sucking up every piece of information he can get his hands on. He's watching every fucking YouTube video. He's starting to create his game. He's trying to figure out, or she's trying to figure out, where the fuck do I fit in? I know some shit. I'm not even sure where I end up. My body is still a little bit discombobulated. You know, unless you're fucking, unless you're sandbagging and you're a blue belt that should be a fucking brown belt, you know, because you're just trying to win medals, that's different. But most of us, you know, at blue belt, they're still trying to learn the language, right? Now you get your purple belt, who's a little bit more refined. They are now coming into their own. They have their style. Now what they're looking for, me personally, I am now looking for things that complement my style. And how is this? It's because I know my role. I know how my body moves. So as much as I like some of this really cool flashy shit, right? And I wish I could do it all, it's just not really my thing. And you notice that as soon as you start rolling, you know how you move. There's just certain things that you just don't do. Now I could say brown belt, but I'm not there, so I don't want to speak for a brown belt. My guess is that that process just becomes a little bit more refined. A little bit more refined. And in a black belt, it's just very crisp. It's cleaning up. Their game is so good that now they are starting to maybe even learn different games. You know, you see a lot of high-level black belts nowadays who back in the day had very solid jiu-jitsu either way, and now their jiu-jitsu looks like it went to another level because they're playing the leg lock game now, because that's big in tournaments. So their leg lock game is like fucking sick. They got crazy 50-50 guards. Am I at that point yet? I'll play with it, but in reality it's like, fuck man, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm all tangled up with you. I don't even like it yet there. Will I get to that point? Most likely. And the reason I'm talking about this is because think about this for a second. What is there, 365 days in a year? 365 days. Let's say you're a fucking stud and you do jiu-jitsu every day. 365 days. That's 365 possible techniques that you're going to learn that year. 365. So think about this. How many of you learn 365 techniques in a year? Fuck, I can tell you honestly, I don't. How many of you see a technique and you're like, that's cool, but that's not, I'll never do that. I'll drill the move, but that's not me. That's okay if it's not you. Because it could be the guy next to you's technique. But either way, it's okay if it's not you, because you should still know what it looks like and what it feels like. But, and that's not you being a dick saying, that technique, that's not me. No. You know what's awesome about that? Is you're starting to find out who you are. But what might happen is you'll see a technique that is like, that's it. As soon as I started using that, I could feel I can implement that into my game. Another way you know too is if you were able to do that same move that you were drilling and do it in the live roll, then it will probably become part of your game as long as you keep it, you know, fresh and you keep using it. So going back to the white belt belt's confused. He's trying to pick up everything, right? Unfortunately, he's going to pick up a lot of complicated shit in the beginning. The blue belt, learning all these techniques. So him in the whole year, he let's say out of three, I'm just shooting shit here. Let's say out of a whole year, out of 365 days, the blue belt that went every day, he picked up, 150 techniques. You know, almost half. 150 techniques he picked up that he's been kind of just fucking working and floating around. The purple belt, if we're talking about me, out of all those techniques, there might be only 20 that I picked up that year. But it's 20 that went right into my game already. The brown belt, maybe even a little less. The black belt, maybe even a little less. Because it's just, it gets so, it doesn't mean you don't know the technique. You know it, you could probably teach it. It's just that's not part of my game. Maybe when I'm fucking around rolling and I don't really care what happens, I'm just kind of having fun playing jiu-jitsu, then it doesn't matter. Then I'll try some random shit, which I've done. I do that a lot. I'll play like, if it's just fucking around, I'll try like heel hook positions. I'll try reverse De La Hiva, inverted underneath the person, taking the back. This is shit I would never do, you know. So I hope what I'm saying is making sense. So for any of you that feel like you're plateauing, if this even helps people that plateau, you know, I'm always trying to help you guys, because me helping you helps me. But realize, don't expect, as you progress, probably don't expect to learn all the time, all the newest stuff. What's going to happen is you'll start learning how to complement what you already got, right? So, like, one of my other training partners who's a purple belt too, him and I are like pretty like evenly matched. He's a lighter weight guy, but he's got more of a flashy guard. He's very good at, just really good at moving his hips, everything. His guard just works really, really well for him. He can catch your arm from fucking all different angles. He's just quick, you know? He's just quick. So some of the stuff that I use in my game won't work for him. But the stuff and the stuff that he does won't work for me. So here's what I'm saying. Once you understand what your system is, whatever your style is, however you move, if you want to start studying jiu-jitsu and other people that are jiu-jitsu practitioners, right? Study guys that move the way you move, that you can look up to. Like, okay, so for me right now, like, I like this guy. I almost want to say love, but I like this guy a lot. Gio Martinez with 10th Planet. The guy's just fucking cool how he moves on the mat, man. It's just fucking cool, man. It's just awesome. So he's a guy I'll watch his jiu-jitsu all day. Now, I'll fuck around with the truck because it's cool. But he's not a guy that I'm going to really look at and be like, okay, how can I work? Because I think he's like 130 pounds. So, I mean, already I got like 60 pounds on him probably, or 50 something pounds on him. So obviously we're going to move a little different. But I'm no Andre Galvao. But his style is very similar to what I would like to use. It's just very fine, crisp shit. Now lately he's gotten really good at like the leg lock game over the past few years. But he's a guy I can watch and I can say, oh, I see that. Or some of course the old school guys. Pedro Sauer, man, I'm picking shit up from him. I'm seeing stuff. Because find guys that play the way you play and find the stuff that they're doing that you weren't doing, and that's how you get better. Guys, the video is 10 minutes, 36 seconds. I didn't want to talk all night with you guys, but I really hope this helps. I hope some of this makes sense. By the way, I am on Instagram now. I'm not very up to date with technology, but I decided to get a smartphone for the first time, and I'm on Instagram. So guys, feel free to follow me because on my Instagram I actually update photos of my training, some helpful tips, and I'm even going to start putting some videos on there with some technique for playful jiu-jitsu and also jiu-jitsu